I believe that there is a correlation between the general human struggle of life and the ability to make the right decision. I have always struggled to make the right decision all my life. This is because I have had somewhat of a privileged upbringing, and that during my youth, the important life decisions of mine were taken by someone elderly like my mother or father. This movie is personal. If I don't make it, it will haunt me for the rest of my life. I don't like going to therapy, however, I'm finding myself in need of it these recent days. Usually, my art is my therapy, and like any art, art is made to be shown to the public. Otherwise, an artist would paint his picture and keep it hidden throughout his or her life. And just like in my case, I need to share my art with the world. It may not be the best artwork ever produced. However, I believe my message could help anyone going through the same tough situation that I am also going through. And with this, it creates a dialogue, and through both the negative and positive comments. I have mostly coasted through life without many consequent events taking place, and now I find myself back in South Africa, walking through my childhood home, taking a stroll through the beautiful garden I was once running around with the numerous dogs that have passed away. Kiara, Ziggy, Kovu, Gizmo, and Gadget, and now I find myself with two beautiful lovable characters, Hunter and Ryder, and it seems to me that the future of these four-legged animals seems just as unclear as my life at this precise moment in time. Walking through these corridors, looking at my mother's quilting works hanging on the wall, and their interior decoration, and the place I ran around in as a child. I believe to you, this may just be brick and mortar and wood, but for me, it holds memories. The whole situation is bittersweet. I never thought I would be back in South Africa. The fragmented relationship I had with my mother, and her alienation of her entire family, is also part of the cause I'm so far away from her, living in Mauritius. Don't get me wrong, I love my mother more than anything in the world, but life was not good to her. It's not that I wanted to brush the fact I had a mother and my past traumas with her under the rug. It was just I was oblivious to them in the short term. No one ever talks about healing from an abusive parent. No one ever talks about it. I remember how I was a child, despite the number of good memories I have the same equal amount of bad memories. I could have gone in a different path. I could have gone down the roads of drugs and alcohol abuse, but I didn't. I feel that I have yet to make my mark in this world. Why me? Out of 8 billion people on this planet, why care about my story? When my parents divorced, my mother won the custody battle, but I absolutely hated it. I was my mother's punching bag. But she couldn't come to terms with the fact she had failed life. Although she didn't fail, she just blamed all her shortcomings on everyone else. And now I find myself going to the ICU every day and being with her despite everything that has happened. And at the same time running my mother's business. Unfortunately, I'm finding myself having to clean up the mess my mother made, financially and in other ways, and this is unfair on my father because he is only helping me, despite it's his ex-wife, and at his age he would have hoped for some peace. She was given all the tools to make a beautiful life. There is a possibility I will lose everything. I may lose a mother and this house and my beautiful dogs. I am not good at goodbyes. I love the nostalgia. However, I find myself latching onto the idea of what was, a time before the divorce, a time from Madagascar when I would go horse riding in the crocodile park with my dad. I find myself latching onto the idea of a long forgotten idea of a lost South Africa. I won't vouch for Cape Town or Durban, so I will speak for Johannesburg. The load shedding here has gotten bad. It's shocking to see like a neighborhood like the beloved Auckland Park in the blackness of the night without any lights. The load shedding on water is unspeakable. The traffic lights don't work. The corruption in this country is appalling. The litter, the filth, the minute you step off the plane you feel caked upon your skin. The crime in this country has gotten worse. From what I learned, there were several break-ins and home invasions in my absence. South Africa does have its beauty, but the level of education is lacking. Apartheid still lingers, and that is through no fault of anyone but the government. I mean, you can defend South Africa and its government, but nothing excuses the fact of the horrible living conditions one must endure. Mauritians, on the other hand, believe that the grass is greener on the other side. Shockingly enough, Mauritius has even outdone South Africa, and now it is South Africa that is the developing country. From speaking to locals, they say South Africa is finished. Now I find myself presented with a huge life-changing important decision, a decision that will determine the outcome of my life and the lives of many others. I am not strong. I believe none of us are. That is what makes us human, the flawed human persona, the fragile ego. I get so emotionally attached to the people, places, and things. However, I learned that throughout this whole experience, what matters most is a human connection and always being the first to reach out. That means always texting first. I wish I had the gift of clairvoyance to see 10 years into the future of what each choice could bring to my life. And unfortunately, that is not the case. I feel what we all fear is regret. I am faced with the decision, do I leave everything behind in Mauritius? The beautiful life I had constructed over there, the special people I have in that country, my friends and my family, and my love life. I leave behind the MBC, the place I have come to cherish the most, the modeling jobs, the acting and the dancing. Or do I stay in South Africa, a challenging country, stay stuck in a business which is not my line of work? Place where friends are not easy to come by. My South African side of the family is so dispersed and disorganized and fragmented due to my mother's behavior. Or should I call it quits right now? However, that means forfeiting the house. The dogs will go up for adoption. Everything in ruins. I am literally alone in this. I can have so many people checking up on me. My father from Mauritius, my friends and family, and the special person. However, everyone is asking me how my mom is. Unfortunately, it's tedious giving the same information to you all every day. And don't get me wrong, just like everyone, we are all praying for a miracle, that my mother does get cured. I can have so many people advising me, but that at the end of the day, the decision is my own to take, and no one will be able to make that decision for me. I hope that if anyone is going through something, I believe all dilemmas are equal to what decisions we take. Just know, in that sense, you are not alone in this. However, you must make the call one day. You have to take the decision. And I want to thank you. Yes, you. My friend on Facebook. I believe you all know who you are. This is the first time that I have ever posted something like this. to the degree that I've documented a journey like this. From the first Facebook post, I received a lot of support and a lot of positive comments of my mom getting well, and for me also to take care, and a lot of courage. And I know all who you are, and I thank you for that. Thank you very much for being there for me, and I know now who are my people. This has been Adnan Jugu and Itumeleng Mafoto. We go all the way back to the Arnold Classic. Whatever has happened, all I can say is my mama didn't raise a quitter. Even if I fail, I still have to finish what I started. The path of least resistance is going back to the life, back in Mauritius. I have to try and save what is rightfully mine and the memories attached to it. I love you very much, Mama.